Hi, I've said I'll make an update video about my transition and everything I did since my coming out video last year after my face rework. So here's my face reveal 2.0 or 3.0 for the people that knew me from the dark ages. Some of you have already seen photos posted by me here or on Reddit, but I wanted to have a video done too to talk about it and rant about things. Last year I've said that,
and I'm still changing. This isn't even my final form yet.
well, apart from some final face swelling that is bound to go down and more hair to grow, this is pretty much my final form, until I get bigger boobies. I thought it would be nice to make a personal update video about everything I've changed and what my transition has been like so far. I'm now 2.5 years on HRT, which was the best and most important decision and the backbone of all the other changes. And I wouldn't be here anymore had I not finally started. Not only has it changed my entire body and made me feel better every day, but it also cured my depression and anxiety, and changed my mindset and set me up on the right track instead of breaking more and more every day because I was running on the wrong hormone. I finished laser hair removal on my entire face and body, so I'm very smooth everywhere. I changed my entire wardrobe in order to do my makeup. I continued to voice train and I still continue to do so. It's hard. I sued my country and won the long trial to change all my documents to say Remina and female everywhere. And in terms of surgeries, first I had bottom surgery and a Madame Supple shave in Thailand last year, which has been amazing and super liberating. I always hated my former hardware down there and felt dysphoric just knowing it was there, to the point where I avoided looking down at myself or even acknowledging it. So that has been a fantastic change that I needed, even if the recovery was quite long and intense, and full of a lot of dilating. And earlier this year, I had facial feminization surgery in Spain, which was the last major dysphoria relieving gender affirming care that I needed. It was pretty subtle. We only targeted the parts that got damaged by testosterone during the first cursed and unwanted puberty, so in my case, nose, forehead and hairline. And we just reverted the bones to how they were before puberty. So now I pretty much look like how I would have looked like if we lived in a better world, where I could have received the help and healthcare that I needed when I was younger, and had access to puberty blockers to prevent all that pain and suffering from happening in the first place. So I basically received time-traveling puberty blockers. The difference isn't that huge from the front, but it is quite a lot from the side profile, especially the nose no longer being that huge, and the forehead being smooth and without a brow bone, so my eyebrows sit higher and more even. And we also did a hair transplant at the same time to fully round up my hairline, but it will take a while for that to grow and catch up to the length of the rest of my hair. So we reverted the testosterone changes from years ago basically. I am very happy with the results. Even if I already passed before, I was still dysphoric about parts of my face, especially seeing myself from the profile or having other people see me from the side. Now I feel good about myself and I look like myself from every angle, with and without makeup, even if I'm still a big makeup enjoyer. But that is a very freeing and healing feeling. You could say I could have bought a tiny house with all the money I spent on my transition, but I would rather feel at home at last in my own body, after feeling trapped in a body that never felt like mine for almost 3 decades. So instead of buying a house, I bought bones. Gender affirming care really is life-saving, and it's not just cosmetic as some people make it out to be. For me, it was about changing and getting rid of the things that testosterone caused that shouldn't have been there in the first place, and everyone that needs it should be able to access it. It's sad how expensive and gatekept it can be, and how we see people pushing to ban it, especially puberty blockers that are the best defense against dysphoria. And I know I was lucky to be able to get all those changes that I needed so fast and basically speedrun my transition in only 2 years. I finally feel good about myself and my entire face and body, but at the same time I also feel a lot of grief. Grief for all the time and opportunities I had lost where I wasn't me, that I didn't get to have a childhood as me, and had that and my teenage years and most of my 20s stolen from me. That is something that I don't know if I'll ever get over. Good thing that I'm a vampire and I don't age, or I would be really upset about losing almost 30 years. I've always been me on the inside and I was always a girl, even when I was forced not to be one. I don't identify as a woman, I just am one, and that's how I was born. Even if the simulation bugged and spawned me as the wrong body type. But I feel like I just probably got here in those last 2 years. Everything before that feels like one long and torturous day where I had to pretend to be someone I wasn't and felt awful all the time, and just spent my life distracting myself and disassociating. So I feel very behind everyone else my age. How can you build a life or focus on a career when you had to fight with yourself and your depression and dysphoria for so many years, and then spend so much time and effort to undo all that damage you went through? And when you finally get over all that and fix yourself, half the world still wants you not to exist, and is saying the most vile shit about you and people like you everywhere all the time. We live in a world that has never been so loudly transphobic before, and it has gotten worse and worse in those last few years, with conservatives in power in so many places, turning us into the scapegoats of the decade by pushing misinformation and anti-trans bills all the time, and all the right-wing influencers and their easily manipulated bots parroting their fascist propaganda. It gets exhausting seeing people debate your very existence. Being born trans on this planet is a pretty traumatizing experience, since you have to deal with both dysphoria and transphobia. But I'm grateful to have been able to pretty much get rid of one of those two at least. In terms of this channel, it's pretty obvious it hasn't been doing so well lately in terms of views and videos I've released. I didn't have that much time and energy to focus on it, with reworking myself feeling like a full-time job, even if I rework myself faster than Riot reworked Shyvana. But it also feels like there aren't that many interesting things to make videos about lately, now that most of Riot is working on that big leak next update. Hopefully it will be worth it. Maybe I'm a bit burned out after making 2000 videos with the game for 15 years. It paid for the surgeries at least, and getting a bunch of shitty comments whenever I post something since coming out didn't help either. But honestly, surviving solo queue for so many years probably prepared me for transitioning. Maybe I'll branch out and do more types of content or change my content up a bit, or finally start streaming now that I can look at myself from every angle. Or League will be more interesting again after they reveal that big update. Or I'll just become a goth catgirl model and make an OnlyFans. Meow! But even with all that, I don't regret transitioning for a second. I just regret not being able to do it a lot sooner, or not having the help and courage that I needed back then. It has been the best decision of my life and finally allowed me to be me, even if that set my life difficulty on hard mode. It was harder just existing and not feeling alive, so hopefully things will get better soon too and we'll see an end to this massive hate and division wave going on lately. But if you are in a similar situation, don't give up. You can make it to a place where you feel good about yourself, and there are people that understand and will be there for you and love you for who you are. Sometimes I still look at myself in the mirror and think, holy shit, I'm finally here. And after everything, that feeling alone made all of this worth it. And for all the nice people that helped and supported me during this wild journey, thank you and I love you. And to everyone else that got this far, thanks for watching. Meow. Meow.